it has
I just realized
we weren't recording.
We've got the rest. We've got the good bit. We've got your bit.
As I'm talking about to this exact experience, which is like things can go haywire, like things like internally, externally, it can feel like our whole world is like, whoa, like what's happening? Oh my gosh. Like we're going through this transition, this transformation, stepping out into the wilderness of like, what? You know, like, and then, but eventually the reason that we're doing it is so that we can recreate an experience for ourselves. We can rebirth a whole new octave of what life is like and what it can be. And so just knowing that this place in between the known and like the next known can feel so like mind alteringly intense. It's not just like, oh yeah, this is uncomfortable, but I'm gonna just keep going. It's like, oh my God, what is happening? Like, is this okay? Am I okay? Is this gonna be okay? Like, it can really like pull such intense like physical and emotional experiences up for us that, you know, this is the process that we're going through collectively. And yes, like Zooms are going to not work, our phone is going to break, like all these things. And so the question is like, how can we continue to move forward towards our dreams and our visions and not just be like, hey, like I'm going back to like that thing that I don't want to experience, but it just seems like easier than doing this, right? And this is part of the reason why we have 88-day container and this community to co-regulate and support each other through these moments when we're just like, I just can't do this. And I also just wanted to quickly say, while Sarah's trying to figure out the screen sharing, how many of you are moms on the call? If you're a mom, type a 1 in the comments. Because something, you know, just for all the moms and for all the people who aren't moms to know that the way traditional midwives often know when a woman is in transition and just about to give birth, like the baby is like she's fully dilated, the baby's about to come out. What does the woman say? What does a mother typically say? I cannot do this. I cannot do this. This is never gonna happen. I am so over, like, give me the drugs, bring me to the hospital, whatever. It's like, I'm breaking open, like this is what, right? And that is how the birth attendant, like the wise woman who's there walking us through this process, knows that birth is imminent, that like this process is happening, right? So just to kind of lay this groundwork, this framework of what it is that we're doing here, we are supporting each other through the portal of like all of the intensity. And this is part of the reason why this model is so beautiful and so powerful, because where else, literally where can you get long-term container support, mentorship, you know, training systems, all the things and all the love without having to pay for it for the rest of your life, as long as you want to receive it? Like there's no other way that you can weave together with people in business to this extent. So Sarah, how are we doing? Did you figure out
We're doing good. We're doing good. I've got it figured out. I just didn't want to cut you off on your thread of the birth canal thing. I was right in there. Yeah, I love that. And that's it. And the one last thing I'll say is, like, that's why we create these containers, so we keep leaning into the fire together and like keep stoking the fire, keep burning away the things that don't serve. Like, you cannot get that in coaching with the same level of commitment that happens in this space. So I fully agree. It's weird. I can hear myself echoing on Alexa's screen on the other side of the cafe. Okay, screen share time. Let's do it. Let's see how we go. Okay, start broadcasting. I am screen sharing, and now we go into the boards app, and here we go.
Okay, so where I want to direct you guys, if you haven't already been to the boards app, please take the time to go into this resource and check out number 1 and number 2, not only for your own support, but also because this is the way that you're going to be able to move more energy with less effort, is mastering sharing this information and these tools with the brand new people that come into your team, so that you don't have to sit there and like spend hours and hours and hours. Like you can get the basic information into the hands of people right away as soon as they get started, and take the pressure and the workload off of yourself. This is part of the leverage. This is part of like moving energy through lineages without having to spend more time to move more energy. So with that being said, we're going to go into deeper dive, more resources. Sarah, can you click on that? Uh-oh.
Are you there?
I'm here. We lost the screen share.
No, it's still there.
Oh no.
I don't see it. We're about to leave, so I don't know who's going to do this. Okay. Hang on.
Can you just open it up really quickly, because I just want to direct everyone to
that. Hang on.
Right. Okay. So we're gonna deeper dives, more resources, and I just want to share with you guys like this little space. So where the wave icon is, can you click on that? There we go. Okay, and then we are going to go into leveraging live events. So leveraging live events, what we're doing for the 88 days is we are setting up a series of, we have 2 more left of these events that you guys can invite to. So can you click on that one, babe? Inviting language. So this is a really easy way to like, just think about these prospecting Zooms. We have 2 more, one on Thursday and then one next Sunday. And think about this as like a way that you can bring people in. They can get the download, they can get the information, they can find their yes, they can be connected to other voices besides yours, and you don't have to do anything besides invite them to be there. So this is I'm just going to quickly go over it and then let Sarah go. But this is a really easy way. Like if you can just focus on doing this for the next week, there are 2 things. Number 1, and we're going to talk about this after, is sharing about money in your social media. And number 2, using this inviting language when people are interested and leaning in to bring them to one of these 2 calls coming up. So if somebody reaches out to you, like let's say you make a post, you make something that's business forward, and they're like, wow, this is really interesting, like tell me more, then you can start with like, amazing, like what are you doing on, you can kind of skip ahead to like, what are you doing tomorrow at 3 p.m. or whatever the time is. If you are just reaching out to people or following up with people who you've already been in conversation with, you can start with, I was just thinking about you and I'm curious, what are you doing Sunday at 1 p.m. right? So it's really like asking the question, what are you doing Thursday? What are you doing Monday? What are you doing at the time of the Zoom? Like questions are always the best way to start any kind of interaction or conversation with anybody ever, period. Asking questions is the way. So when they answer, and again, this is not like, the only way that you can do this, but this is a really nice framework for doing it through creating curiosity rather than telling people that they need to be on this thing. It's like, it's a great way to open it up so they're leaning in. So you can say a few people from my business community who I really respect are going to be sharing a bit on what we're doing. I'd love to have you jump on with me and hear your thoughts. So by saying this, I'd love to have you jump on with me and hear your thoughts. You're creating this, you're like foreshadowing with them that you want to have a conversation with them after they get on. Like if you don't do that, if you just send somebody a link because they say, oh, I'm interested, and you just send them the link, then following up with them after is going to be really awkward. Whereas if you tell them, oh, I want to have you jump on with me and I want to hear from you after, then you're already laying down that groundwork that you're going to be connecting and having a conversation once they, like, you're really respecting and honoring their opinion and their experience. So then you're going to ask permission. If I sent you the link, would you want to jump on with me? Asking permission and getting consent as we are inviting people to take a look at anything is so respectful and so different from the way that most people do this business. And this will really, like, it's very, very, very impactful to be to ask for consent. So when they respond and they say, oh, well, okay, and then the last piece that I always bring in is, I'd love to see if it's something you might resonate with. You're in curiosity with them. You're not saying, you should do this, you need to do this. It's like, I just want to see if it's something that might resonate with you. You know, it's like very open, very, very curiosity based. It's a whole experiment rather than a pressurized situation where they need to like say, you know, if they don't like it, then you're going to be mad or whatever, right? Like people have all kinds of pressure in the background around these types of interactions. So when they respond, say, great, I'll send you the link and a reminder right before, again, letting them know you're going to remind them so that it's not awkward for you to do that. And then like also creating this space, I'm excited to connect after and to hear your thoughts and reflections. If they can't make it, ask permission if you can send them the recording, find out when they can watch it, and then follow up with them after. And the last most important thing is to keep track of everybody that you're in conversation with. Write their names down somewhere. You can use a note in your phone, you can use a Google Doc, you can use the Trello app, you can use a notebook. But if you don't write their names down, then all of this energy that you're putting out can take a lot longer to come back to you, because when you follow up with people as you move them through the exposures of like connecting over and over with the information, that is when they find their yes. So even if somebody says yes from this one Zoom that you're inviting them to, if you circle back around with them again a few times, then you're much more likely to find them on your team than if you talk to them one time and never follow up with them again. So continuing to keep track of your people and check back in with them and give them love and comment on their stories and like doing all those things is like, that is where 90% of your sales and your team members are going to come through, is the follow-up. So you can go over this inviting in the boards app. Sarah, you can stop screen sharing. Thank you. And thanks for hanging with me, hanging with us to do that. Sorry, my boards app is not on this phone I'm using. And thanks for being here with us.
I'm going to sign off and watch the replay, and big love to all of you ladies, and maybe a few men on there, I don't know. But I can sign out. Yeah, I can sign out. That's fine.
I think so, as long as I'm co-host. Oops, everybody.
Signing off.
Yeah.
Signing off. Bye, everyone.
Amazing. So that was the quick and dirty inviting language. And I'm actually just gonna pause there for a second and see if anybody has questions or would like to pop off mute and like share how inviting has been for you. And then we're gonna talk about money and sharing about money and telling your money story and all those things shortly. So would anybody like to ask any questions? Like, where have you been, having the most success, having challenges in your process of inviting people onto this, into these Zooms? You can chat.
Yeah, I do have a question. Do you hear me?
Hi.
Yeah.
Yes.
I posted on my story that I could send the replay of the call we had yesterday. And then a person on Instagram, which I don't really know, she just sent me an answer replay, and that's all she sent. So this is a little bit strange. What would you suggest to do?
Okay, so you had somebody, so you posted in your stories about the call, and then you offered people to reach out to you if they want the replay. And then you had someone reach out to you and say they want the replay. So that's amazing. Congratulations. Like, that's beautiful. And maybe it might feel strange to have like people that you don't know. If you're new to social media, or if you're kind of like new, like, it's kind of surprising how many people that you don't know will engage with you. And that's one of the cool things about social media, is like people that you would never, ever, 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 ever have reached out to might see what you're posting, feel deep resonance with it, and reach out to you. And that's called attraction marketing. That's magnetic marketing. So if somebody reaches out to you who you don't know, or if who you do know, what you want to do, and so there can be kind of like this instinct of like just sending them the link, like, here's the replay, you know, you want the replay? Here it is. Now, a more nuanced way to do it is to start a conversation before you send the replay.
Oh, yeah, this
especially if you don't have like, you know, I mean, if you have like hundreds of people asking for the replay, like, you know, if you're in that kind of situation, which I don't think many people are, like, maybe you're just going to send them the link. But the, you know, asking, and here's what it, like, again, bringing in the questions, right? So number one, oh my gosh, nice to meet you. I'm so like, thank you so much for reaching out. And then ask them a question. Like, what is it? You know, I'm really curious. Like, what is it that caught your attention? Like, what are you looking for? What are you, you know, what are you excited to hear about? Right? What's happening in your world right now? Because if somebody's reaching out and they're asking for a replay about a clearly business forward event, then you want to open up a business forward conversation with them and find out like what's going on with them and what are they looking for, right? What do they want? Why do they want the replay? Even just having like this little bit of conversation, then you're becoming a known person to them and you're creating trust with them so that they're going to have, it's just going to start to build that relationship. Whereas if you just send the replay, you know, you have, it's like, no, you know, it's really hard to like know when to reach back out to them or all the things. Like it becomes awkward. I don't know, maybe at least just for me. Has anybody else ever felt awkward thinking about like when to talk to the person again? Like, when do I talk? Like, if you've ever felt like that, just let me know. Katie's like, yeah, I mean, you don't want to be like in that awkward place, right? So starting to really just build this bridge between the two of you and find out more about this person. And then, you know, again, you can kind of set up like, well, do you have any questions about Healy? Like, yeah, I'm going to send you the replay. You know, I'm really, again, like using this language, like, I can't wait to hear what you think about it. I would love to hear what's most inspiring to you. When do you think that you can check it out? Let's talk after. And then also like, I'd also be happy to send you a couple of shorter resources. You know, I mean, just like get into conversation, you know, like they're inviting for all the projectors on the Zoom. If you're a projector, type it too, because we have a lot of projectors in the community. And I do want to speak to this because often, because projectors are supposed to wait for the invitation, right? That's your design, is to wait for the invitation. And so when you're in social media, I like to hold it like this. If someone's in your following, if they're in your audience, they've given you the invitation to talk to them about whatever it is that you are talking about in your, like, you have the invitation to share. If they reach out to you because they're interested in something, actually Jessica's on the call too, she's a projector and she's been like rocking this. So if she feels to chime in, the invitation's there. You're invited, Jess, if you want to. But that when someone reaches out to you and starts a conversation with you, that's your invitation to continue to work, to talk to them and follow up with them. So yeah, so just to kind of like bring in that little nugget around, it's okay to have these conversations if you're a projector. You don't need them to say it like, I invite you to talk to me, right? Like it's implied. So I'm going to pause there. Does that help with like how to navigate this?
Yes, thank you very much. Super.
Beautiful. Awesome. Great question. Anybody else have any questions around, maybe we'll take one or two more and then let's see. I had someone ask me what the goal of the mentorship is. Lindsay, can you like share a little bit more?
Yes. So I was in a conversation with a woman that I've worked with before, who I quite love. And I was talking about the mentorship and she asked, what is the goal of it? And so that's kind of where we are in our conversation. And I have plenty of ideas for how I would articulate that, but I'm curious from your experience, how you would respond to that.
Okay. So again, first thing is to ask questions so that you can get more clarity. I would want to know what her goal is, because the goal of the mentorship is to help her reach her goal. So if like, you know, if she's like, I would want to get more clarity and information from her, like open up a little bit more of the conversation with like, yeah, this is a business container and we are here to support women to like reach their goals. I'm curious, like, what would you love to see change in your life over the course of 88 days? Once you start to get kind of that, some more information, especially if it's like a friend of yours, you know, just like, you could even jump on the phone and say, hey, like, I'm, you know, like, let's talk, right? Like, let's just tune in and see if this is something that might resonate with you. Get the information, ask what's most inspiring. Like, another question I love to ask is like, what's most inspiring to you? What's most alive for you? Like, what is it that's like drawing you to this? And then hear what they have to say. And then I'll come in and say, yeah, this is, you know, this is a really concentrated 88-day experience where we are, our goal is to support you to build the foundation of residual income through affiliate marketing with Healy, right? Like, that's our goal, like overarching goal. However, like, is her goal, like, she wants to like get a Healy and pay it off? Is it that she wants to like, you know, build a huge team? Is it like, where is she in the process? Because when we know what somebody's looking for, we can then show them how this is going to help them get there, versus just assuming that she wants to make $1 million and maybe she just like wants to, you know, maybe that's going to like intimidate her. You know, there's like, we want to really get the information, the clarity, so that we can meet and match somebody where they are, rather than coming in with where we think they might want to be. Right. So does that help, Lindsay? Awesome. Any other clarity? Okay, perfect. Okay.
Yes,
and I
thank
think
you.
Beautiful. I think I saw Steph had her hand up too, or somebody else. One more question.
Yes, I did. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello. I want to share an experience what I had last week, and it was super fun. It was super nice. It was super lovely, and the person was super positive and interested in all things. Like, she loved everything about the community, about everything. And then she was curious how does it work, how she can jump into in the meetings and stuff. And I shared, like, it works through purchasing a Healy through me, and then you're in this container. And then she said like, oh, but I already have a Healy. And I said, oh, okay. So, and then it got awkward. I was like, okay, how do I do this now? Yeah.
Okay. So this is a great question too, because as we're becoming more visible as a community, and like, we are becoming really visible as a community, which is fun and amazing, but it can also bring in the attention of people who already have Heelys and who want this kind of support. And so we want to really navigate this. Yeah, we want to really navigate this in like a very, very clean and an integrous way, because what we don't want to do is create like funky energy by telling people who are already on other people's teams, like, oh yeah, just like sign up under me, and you know, like, and I'll like, so the like the overarching way that this works, just to clarify, is that, you know, when somebody purchases a Healy from someone, they're part of that lineage, and we don't want to like take someone from someone's lineage and put them in our lineage, because that can be like kind of a bummer for the person that originally connected with them. However, there are there are quite a few people floating around who had purchased Heelys like back, you know, a couple of years ago when things were like a little more hectic and never did anything, and all of a sudden like they're getting re-inspired. So the most important thing to ask is like, when did they purchase their Healy? If it's been, you know, like if it was like a year ago and they've never done anything with it, and they never like, you know, sold one or did like even took it out of the box or whatever happened, like then, you know, we can, then there's like an opening there for them to switch. If they just bought it like a week ago from someone else, like then we don't go there, right? Then that's, so just ask for more information and find out. And you can like reach out to me, Stephanie, once you figure it out, like where she's at and what her situation is. And if she, you know, if she's kind of like recently part of the community, like she might have enrolled with someone in this community, in which case just tell her like, yeah, you can jump in, like go to the person who like, let's say she enrolled under Sophia and she's like, oh, like I see you're like, just tell her, oh, go back to Sophia and she'll plug you in. If she's someone from completely outside of our container, then just refer her to go back to the person that she originally.
Okay, cool. But it seemed like she said like she purchased through a couple in LA. So it seemed like totally something else. So
yeah. Just find out some more information. And again, you know, like with these relationship-based businesses, we just really want to keep the communication very clear and clean. I've had people in my organization who have like been spoken to by other people being like, oh, like, you know, I wish that you were on my team. And it's just not like a good feeling to have that, you know, like interaction when they're engaged. And then there's also people who are kind of like orphaned out there who are more like, you know, they're not really connected. It's been a long time and they have no support. And those people, like there's, you know, if you have someone like that, reach out and we can try to figure out how to work with that on an individual basis. But yeah, we want to keep like honor the relationships first and foremost.
Yeah. Thank you.
Beautiful. Yeah, thank you. Great. So we have about 15 more minutes. Any other questions or anything that we want to talk about regarding inviting or getting into the 80-day containers before we start talking about how to share your money story? Woo, woo, woo. All right. Beautiful. Well, I'm going to switch gears here then. Well, not really totally switch gears, but what I want to ask first of all is how many of you, because I know we're all part of different communities through social media, but I'm curious to know like how many of you have been seeing and witnessing in the social media sphere this whole conversation popping up around wealth, online income streams, residual income streams, passive income streams, like changing the money story, like just all of this. Like if you've been noticing like this like huge this huge conversation being opened in the collective space. Yes. I love it too. So I want to give some context to this, and then I want to share how we can use this to support more people, like use how we can position ourselves to be a support to people and really like jump into this conversation and leverage this in multiple different ways. So the context is, for those of you who don't know, there's a woman who actually is part of our Healy community, Katya. Nurturing Novas is her Instagram handle. And about a week ago, she had this idea. She had created this whole container a few months ago called Confessions of a Well-Nourished Woman. And it's like, she's just very skilled at like moving energy through the internet and creating like viral conversations. So about a week ago, she reached out to me and a few other women and said, hey, she's like, this is like pouring through me and needs to happen. Like I am being told that I need to pull this together right now. And I am like, it's like so last minute, but like, let's do it. So basically she pulled together 11 women. I'm one of them, Fernanda's another one, who are going to be coming together all like for this one day, like live, like 11-hour download around how to make money on the internet. Like, And so that's one whole piece, right? And some of you have signed up and like some of you haven't, whatever, like that's completely irrelevant to how, I mean, it's not irrelevant, but that's not the point of this conversation. The point of this conversation is that what this has done, because now there's 11 of us, like, you know, promoting this event, and there's a lot of other people who are affiliated with this event who are also starting to promote it. And the way that everyone is promoting it, and this is what I really want to highlight here, and what I want you to start opening your eyes to and absorbing and observing, is that the way that people are promoting this event is by telling their money story. Naturally, this is what is happening. Stories are pouring out through the internet from women who are starting to like open up this kind of taboo topic of what's going on for me financially and what do I want to be experiencing. This is the most incredible like live training workshop for everyone here, because this is like the foundation of how what I teach, of how to make this business, like one powerful way to make this business work for everybody is to do and model exactly what what is happening now, like in this huge way on the internet. And so there's so many different ways that we can work with this, right? Number one is watch how women are holding themselves and posturing themselves around telling their money stories. This can, and like, you know, you can check out all the 11 women and you can look at their personal shares and stuff, but you're also like, I mean, I'm just like in tears every single day. Like I've been in tears every day, participating in this energy and like watching it and observing it and feeling it, because it feels so long overdue that the lid is being taken off and that we are starting to like take away the secrecy and the separation, like that there's these programs that have been put into place around why it's not okay to talk about money, why it's not okay to have money, why it's not okay to not have money, why we need to be silent about it, why we need to hide it, right? And this is a whole, like when we navigate our lives from that place, what happens is we lose the wisdom, we lose the way that we can share and support each other through our stories, because that's what we do. That's how we grow, is we watch other people doing what we want to do, right? So when there's secrecy and veils around the financial conversation, everybody loses, right? So it feels like this revolutionary space where it's like, okay, let's talk about this. Let's show up and share about what's happening for us. So how can you like move with this energy? Number one is like, look, learn, observe, absorb watching other women move in this way and lean into it. Start to experiment, start to talk about what's happening for you in your financial world. Like gather inspiration from this movement, from this experience. Look, like feel it in your body, like, whoa. And if you feel activated in your nervous system and like sweaty palms and like nausea and nervousness around like, oh my God, like I could never say that online. Good. That is your indication that you're going in the right direction. And we are all here together, holding each other, loving each other, supporting each other, seeing each other to move in that direction. Okay, so let's do this together as a community and step into the arena of talking about what it means for us personally to be financially free. And what's standing in the way of that for us? Like, just jump in, like get into this conversation, you know, like get uncomfortable, start to share. So that's number one. Just open up the conversation and let it pour through you. And number two is that on the other side of this, so yeah, there's this one day, like on July 15th, like 11-hour download that's going to happen. That's really all about how to how to use affiliate marketing, how to leverage, how to expand your time, how to move more energy with less effort. And on the other side of this, there are going to be thousands of women who are looking around and saying, okay, I'm in my awareness, I'm opening up, I'm like starting to have these realizations of I want to figure out a different way or an additional way to bring in money. And they're all going to be looking for ways to do that. They're all going to be saying, and they already are, like, okay, so yeah, like multiple streams of income. Okay, I'm down with this. Like, what can I do? How can I create this? How can I bring this into my life? What are the ways that are available that I can get into this stream, that I can start to create another income stream for myself, right? And that is why the more that you start to share about what we're doing now, the more that you start to point women towards our 88-day container, talk about, yeah, this is like a whole business, like this is like business coaching for free forever. Where else can you find that, right? Like just, you know, just start, like step in to the space as someone who has a solution to offer, right? Because